Oh, this video is gonna be morbid. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Kat, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are talking all things money and acting. How much money do you make on Broadway? Can you make a sustainable income as a performer? How do I not be a starving artist? We're gonna talk about all of that in today's video. First thing first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Katherine Steele. I love the arts. I love musical theater, I love TV, I love movies, all that good stuff. If you love it too, or if you love internet cults, hit subscribe to join. We're an internet cult. Ta-da! If this isn't your first time here and you're like, whoa, Kat, you're weird today. First off, how dare you? I'm always weird. Second off, I am a little under the weather, so if I sound a little off, please bear with me, because the topic of money and making money as an actor is kind of a doozy. Also perfect timing, today's video is sponsored by Backstage. I'll talk about them a little bit later and how they all kind of tie into this concept. In the theme of this video, question of the day, what question are you dreading hearing this holiday season? For me, it's always been, so how do you make money as an actor? How much money do you even make? Really, Aunt Gail, can't you just pass me a baked potato? What question do you hate getting? Let me know in the comments down below. So the truth to that question? It depends. And it depends on a ton of different factors. I'll share some actual hard and fast numbers and salaries in just a little bit, but first I want to address some misconceptions regarding finances and being an actor. So growing up, I kind of had this idea that once you book the Broadway musical or the TV show, you are set, you've made it, you're an actor, you done did it. Truth is, that's not usually the case. I was listening to Tony Hale on a podcast a couple of days ago. If you guys don't know Tony Hale, I worship him. He played Buster on Arrested Development, Gary on Veep. He's the voice of Forky in Toy Story 4. I was listening to a podcast interview he was doing, and he said something that really stuck with me. You know, most people will go on job interviews for 2 to 3 months, and they'll find a job that they'll do for 2 to 3 years. As an actor, you go on job interviews, aka auditions, for 2 to 3 years for the chance to work for 2 to 3 months. This is a job with very little security and a ton of competition. It's fickle and it's subjective. You can lose out on a role that you are technically the best option for, and you still won't get it just because the casting director was having a bad day, or you're 2 inches too short to fit into the costumes that have already been made. This industry doesn't care about you. So, on one hand, that might sound like the most morbid concept, super scary, super terrifying. Why the heck did you say that, Kat? Christmas is canceled. But to me, and the older I've gotten, I kind of see it more as a relief. If you don't book a job, it's not because you're an untalented piece of garbage, it just means that the casting team went in another direction. Distancing your emotions from that and having a healthy kind of outer perspective of what the industry is a really valuable skill set, and one that I kind of wish I developed earlier in life. So, the truth about being a working actor as your profession, most actors have more than one job. You know, I feel like the common trope is that actors are always side hustling, you know, like they're a waiter or they're a hostess or a barista and they're just waiting for their big break. And I totally feel that. I've worked tons of jobs that weren't glamorous. I've worked in food service, I've worked in retail. Nothing killed my creative vibe more than getting off of work only to discover that I was covered in other people's yogurt. That makes no sense out of context. I worked at a yogurt shop. Still totally sucked, and everything was sticky and smelled like fake sugar. So, why do we do this to ourselves? We need the cash, and it's flexible. When you're working a job with a changing schedule and lots of co-workers, it's potentially a little bit easier to try to switch a shift so you can go out to that midday audition. Another avenue you can go down is finding a job that not only pays the bills, but it's something that you love. You can even try to find something that actually uses your performance skill set. It might take up a little more time in your schedule, or it might not be as flexible when it comes to scheduling, but it might feel a little better for your soul. You could be a private music teacher, you could teach a dance class, you could work for a theater company that you love. I did that for 2 years in college. You could be a birthday party performer, you could sing at weddings, you could be a fitness instructor. I know so many dancers who help make ends meet by teaching some Zumba classes or a bar class. Something that I really want to emphasize and destigmatize. Having more than one job as an actor doesn't make you a failure. Speaking of which, let's talk about doing more than one show at a time, or balancing your schedule so that you can have more than one show at a time. And by that I mean, let's talk about how to make your day job a performance job. So tons of my friends, tons of my co-workers, a bunch of actors that I auditioned and worked with while I was working for that equity theater company, everybody tries to balance more than one project or one job at a time, and you often need to financially. For instance, a really popular situation is that someone will be in a long-running production. I feel like the two most popular that I always see are burlesque shows or Disneyland shows. So a lot of people are in these long-running shows and then they add on an additional project, usually like a traditional musical, one with a 2 to 4 week rehearsal process and then a 2 to 6 week performance run. A fantastic piece of advice that I feel like was never really taught to me until I kind of figured it out in the workforce: think outside the box. Don't just try to make money off of doing musicals. There are tons and tons and tons of different performance jobs that can earn you a paycheck. Concerts, live events, burlesque, cabarets, short film, student film, full feature-length film, television, streaming service shows, acting in a music video. I was searching everywhere to find this quote I love, but I can't find it, so now I'm totally gonna misquote it. But a Broadway actor I love once said, "I do television to support my theater habit." Of course, television is its own art form as well, but learning how to diversify your skill set as a performer will definitely help you when it comes to your income. Also, if you have other talents, use them, bank them up. In college, I made money as an on-set makeup artist. I have tons of actor friends who have learned how to stage manage or direct children's theater. Think about what other roles in the industry you could potentially fill with your skill set. You can find tons of these job opportunities plus traditional acting auditions on Backstage! Promo and joking aside, I really love Backstage. It's a tool that I've used both as an actor and a casting director. If you don't know, Backstage is a great way to find your next audition. You get access to tons of casting breakdowns and audition information, and then you can filter through them. You can find auditions that fit your age, location, gender identity, union status, and more. The great thing about Backstage is that you self-submit. That means that you don't need to go through an agent. I've used Backstage to get those jobs, only to find out that my co-stars went through their management team to book that audition. That means that they lost a percentage of their paycheck from an audition that they could have just booked themselves. You can get your first month of Backstage for only $5 when you sign up using the link down below. Thank you to Backstage for creating that awesome discount code and for supporting the nerdy content that we're making right now. So another really valuable skill set that you need to have as an actor or just as an adult in general is creating a budget. Learning how to save money, especially in this industry, is crucial. There can be really high highs of employment followed by a really long and difficult drought. Now, there are tons of different ways to manage your money, but if you're new to this, I'd really recommend starting out by recording everything you spend in the next month. This is something you can even start doing if you're still in school or if your parents are helping you out. Write down every expense. If you buy new shoes, if you fill up your car's gas tank, if you spend $1 buying Takis at the gas station when you fill up your car. Write it all down. Seeing all your purchases laid out in front of you can not only help you create a budget for the future, but it can help you identify your spending habits and see if there's something that you might need to change. So, let's talk money. So how much do you make as an actor? Like I said, it really depends. Some shows only pay you a gas stipend, literally just enough money so that you can fill up your tank to go to rehearsal. Some shows pay you a couple $100s for the run, or maybe for just a week. Basically, it's just kind of whatever the company offers. Unless you're in the union. All of this can get kind of complicated, so I'm going to break it down as simply as possible, and I'm just going to kind of hit the major bullet points. The union for stage actors is Actors Equity Association, most commonly referred to as Equity, or if you see a casting breakdown online, it might be shortened to AEA. I wrote this down because I didn't want to get the numbers wrong. The national tour weekly minimum salary for most unionized musicals this year is $2,095 per week. On the flip side, some non-union tours are only paying their actors $450 a week. That topic and why don't you just become Equity and why are you becoming Equity is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So, How much do you make on Broadway? According to Playbill, the current minimum salary for an equity performer on Broadway is $2,034 a week. Now, you can get an additional pay bump if you're doing extra for the show. Let's say you're understudying, or you're the fight captain or the dance captain. I've had friends on Broadway who literally have a second job. Usually it's like teaching a dance class during the day, or maybe offering coaching. Now, you might be sitting there totally freaked out and petrified and horrified and so scared for the future. And I feel that. When I put all of this info together, I did too. But that's not the point of this video. Staying in the dark is 20 times more scary than having the proper information needed to know how to prepare for this life. What's gonna save you here, what's going to allow you to be a performer as your job? Knowing how to budget, developing a diverse and sellable skill set, not taking rejection personally, knowing that most people work on more than one show or one job at a time. I find that really comforting. This career is insanely tough, not only in the work that you do, but figuring out a way to maintain it so that you can maintain yourself and your life. But if you're in the same boat as me, entertaining is in your blood. So no matter what, you're gonna make it work. You're gonna figure out a way to make a living and make a career, and you're gonna kick butt doing it. And I'm rooting for you. I hope this video inspired you, or at the very least informed you, and hopefully wasn't too scary. Huge thank you again to Backstage for sponsoring this video. Take advantage of that awesome $5 link down below. If you're new here, hit subscribe. If you haven't checked out my vlog channel yet, go check out my vlog channel. It's a ton of fun. I hope you guys are having a great day. I love you so much. Break a leg, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!